Hello guys, LovelyMuze here, and I thought, since 2020 is finally coming to an end, I should make a video listing out some of the things we as the K-pop community should definitely leave or change when entering a new year. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. First and foremost, I think we can all agree that making grown adults perform cutesy acts for our own enjoyment should probably be left in 2020. Like, I don't know about you, but I am tired of fans trying to enforce or force their idols to do things that they themselves would find uncomfortable to do if a stranger was to ask them to do it. However, I do believe there are a good number of idols who don't mind acting cute, at the very least on their own accord. But the issue here is when we as fans ask them to do it and then get offended or butthurt when they decline, failing to realize why they declined in the first place. So rather than leave the act of acting cute behind per se, let's leave making our idols perform uncomfortable requests that you know yourself wouldn't like doing. This one probably goes hand in hand with making idols, grown adults perform in a cutesy manner. Fans, especially the young fans, because I see this a lot from the young fans, need to stop babying grown-ass adults and treating them like they don't know how to think or act on their own. On my Chapter 5 Unpopular K-pop video, I talked about it. But babying idols whom you know are very well grown and possibly even older than you, needs to stop and be left in 2020. It doesn't mean you can't dote on your idol every once in a while, but babying them to the point that you refuse to allow them to take any responsibility for their actions, is actually going to do more harm than you might want to believe. If the precious idol that you wish to continue to baby and protect, sees that their wrongdoings have no consequences, they are just going to continue to do it, knowing fully well they have a bunch of worshippers to protect them, and to continue to feed them lies about how much their actions didn't mean or affect anyone when in reality it did. So please let's leave refusing to allow your idol to take accountability for their actions in 2020. The majority of these idols are grown adults, only a small fraction of them are still minors, but guess what, even those minors are still old enough to know what is wrong and what is right. And to prevent them from seeing the wrong is just plain deceitful on your part as fans. I know this one will definitely never stop happening, but can we as the K-pop community try to not get into fan wars, or at the very least not get into fan wars on matters that are so trivial? Oh my god, this member from so-and-so looked at my idol the wrong way, and then bam! A fan war breaks out. Oh my god, this group said this about my group, bam! A fan war breaks loose. Like, why can't we live in harmony and support one another? You can still give your full support to the one group you truly like, but it doesn't then mean that you have to step on, belittle, insult, or go after another group to do so. I can support 17 without having to bring down BTS or New East, potentially sparking a fan war. And I can accept any criticism that 17 gets without having to get butthurt, because guess what, I know what opinions are and I know how to respect them. So what, if a member from another group doesn't like a member of the group you like? That is their business and they have every right to feel the way they do. Because at the end of the day, that idol most likely knows your idol more than you and therefore can form a better opinion of them than you. It doesn't mean you then mindlessly go on a rampage or try to start a war, just to make yourself feel better. Because I can guarantee you, that the idol that you are protecting or you are going into cyber war for, could give a damn about the whole thing, to begin with. Unlike you, who is sitting on their butt typing away, trying to start fan wars on behalf of your idols are probably living their best life, promoting their favorite luxurious brand, and getting their 20-something win on a music show or award show. Or better yet, that idol is probably hanging out with the very same idol you are now cyberbullying online. So yeah, moving into 2021, let's start to use our brains and prevent starting unnecessary fan wars, especially with groups you know damn well your idols are most likely friends with. I think this one goes without an explanation, but let's leave obsessive, no respect for privacy, so-called fans in 2020. Like, if every year, in order to enter a new year, we had to meet certain requirements, and one of those requirements was not to be a stan, I wonder how many K-pop fans would actually be allowed to enter the new year. Believe it or not, sass songs and stans are part of the reason why K-pop is enjoyable, and I will admit it. I mean, because of them we get the wildest stories and wildest pictures of our idols, but unfortunately, it is at the expense of the idol's privacy, which to me, is never worth it. So yeah, let's leave sass songs and stans in 2020. I'm sorry, sass songs, but you didn't fit the following requirements. Therefore you can't enter into the new year. Best luck next time, maybe. Okay, this one might actually be controversial, because I have seen quite a good number of people who are actually in favor of fans only being fans or standing one member of a group. To be honest, I have mixed feelings about this one. For one, I myself do not believe you are a fan of a certain group if you only know, like, or are a fan of just one member. Because at the end of the day, you are not actually a fan of 17, but a fan of Vernon, who just so happens to be in a group called 17, and makes music with the other members of 17, whom you've completely disregarded. By the way, I am using 17 as an example because they are my ultimate group, and if I were to use another group, like Blackpink for instance, it may not sit well with some blinks. Anyways, on the other hand, if you are a solo fan of a member from a group, who actually has solo activities, such as acting gigs, or solo music, then I can understand why you are specifically only a fan of this one member. But to outright just push the other members aside, and just completely disregard them, all for the sake of being loyal to your precious idol, but still call yourself a fan of the group entirely, is basically a slap in the face to the other members. Imagine me, being a fan of only one member of 17, haha, it can't be me. And imagine me only caring about one member of 17, but still having the audacity to say I am a fan of 17 or call myself by their fandom name. Once again, it can't be me. Once again, I repeat, I have nothing against solo fans. The only issue I have is when you are calling yourself a fan of an entire group or calling yourself by their fandom name, knowing damn well you only like or are a fan of just one member. Now that needs to be left in 2020. Please by no means do not get this confused with having a bias in the group. For one, even though I like all the members of 17, and I very much do consider myself to be a 17 fan and a carrot, I will, however, say that I do have a bias, which is Seungkwan. Having a bias and being a solo fan are two different things, so please do not get those two mixed up. By the way, this also applies to those who want to call themselves a K-pop fan, but only know of, or like one K-pop group. And I'll be real, I have mostly seen this with BTS and Blackpink fans. You can't call yourselves a K-pop fan if you can't even name a K-pop group outside of the BTS and Blackpink world. That is also like a slap in the face to not only the other K-pop groups but to actual K-pop fans. Like literally, no hate to BTS or ARMYs, actually love them. But I have had a good number of people come up to me spewing about how much they like K-pop, but then proceed to only talk and know about BTS. And then when I tell them that they are BTS fan only, and not a K-pop fan, they get butthurt, like no, I should be the one butthurt here, not you. But yeah, all in all, solo stans and solo group stans, please, don't take it personally, but you haven't met the following requirements either, to move into the next year. This one pertains to the hate towards the Western music industry, and award shows. Like I don't really give 2 cents about Western awards shows, I haven't really kept up with them since like Much Music, that music channel, and when MTV actually would play music videos on their channel. If anyone knows what I am talking about, you've lived a good childhood. But like, I have noticed the rising of unnecessary hate that K-pop fans give toward Western award shows or the industry itself. Saying stuff like why do K-pop idols care so much about Western award shows, it's trash. You're right, it is trash. It seems to me that K-pop fans seek more validation from the Western industry than the idols do, seeing how much you guys can't stop talking about them. The same reason your idols care so much about winning a Grammy is the same reason you care so much about your idols winning an award at Mama. At the end of the day, an award is still an award, and if BTS wants a Grammy, so what? It doesn't now mean that they are trying to seek validation from Westerners. From what I see, it is them trying to strive and aim for something that was once thought of as impossible for any artists outside of the Western music industry, especially for Asian artists. Plus, you need to realize that without the Western industry allowing BTS to enter, the amount of fame and popularity BTS has wouldn't be happening. Like genuinely take a step back, sit down, grab a cup of tea, and think about it. The whole reason BTS is able to achieve so much and be where they are, not just in a global aspect, but internationally, worldwide, is because the Western industry decided to open their doors and allow them to attend one of their award shows, the BMAs, and even win an award there when they could have easily pretended that BTS didn't exist. So, you can keep hating on Western award shows, and you can keep trying to compare Western award shows to the Korean award shows, to try and make the Western awards look bad. But at the end of the day, K-pop is where it is right now, because of those Western award shows. This is not me trying to boost Western award shows, they are still trash. However, I refuse to enter the new year with this type of energy and unnecessary hate. This bandwagon hate toward Western award shows and artists, please leave it in 2020. Okay, this one is one that I have been dying to share, or at the very least get off my chest. But like K-pop is starting to become a save me in a struggle campaign. Like a battle to see which group struggled the most, and therefore deserves the most appreciation and support. Like for instance, why is it that fans of certain groups always want you to feel bad for their group? Telling you the saddest stories to make you pity them and eventually be fans of their group. Like they act, like their group is the only one who struggled or went through hardships. Yes, groups had to go through this, or they didn't even get this, or they had to share this tiny apartment, etc. You should support them. Okay, like I can legitimately name you 10 other groups and more, who have gone through those struggles and probably even worse. But I am not about to have you pity them, like some lost puppy or a starving child, who needs saving. Because they are probably still well off compared to me. I have my own struggles and hardship to deal with. The last thing a K-pop idol wants, especially one who genuinely cares about their music and art, would be to support through pity. Because at the end of the day, they know it is not genuine. You aren't there to support them because you like their music, or because you even like them. You are there because you pity their situation, you heard a sappy story about their situation, and decided to support them. But why didn't you support them all along from the get-go? Why did you have to hear a story about how underappreciated or mistreated they are, for you to get support? The same story that you can probably hear about 10 other groups. By no means am I trying to downplay or dismiss an idol or a group's mistreatment or hardships. But for the fans to use that as a way to gain support, is actually very disrespectful to those very same idols and groups they are trying to get support for. Imagine someone promoting your struggles as a way to get supporters for you, and to hopefully get you an award. And when you finally get the support and award, all you can think about is how you only got those, not because they genuinely believed you deserve it, but simply because they pity you. Don't get me wrong, pitying someone is not bad, it really isn't. But pitying someone can only take them so far. What happens when they are no longer struggling and in hardships? Will you continue to show them support, or is it time to pack your bags and find a new group to pity? Every idol struggles and every idol goes through hardships, mistreatment and are underappreciated. Your group is no different from the other 10 plus, 20 plus, 100 plus groups out there. The only thing setting them apart is that those groups you believe that have the support your group lacks, gain those support not through pity, but from other aspects that the groups have, such as their music. If you want to gain genuine support for your groups, the last thing you want is to be sharing pitiful stories about them to other K-pop fans who probably are fans of groups who have most likely gone through the same exact experience. Share with them your favorite songs, or moments of the group, actually get them truly invested in the group and the members themselves, and not their struggles. Because at the end of the day, struggles and hardship can be overcome, and once those are gone, what is stopping those fans from leaving? Well, this brings me to the end. If you enjoyed this video, please give a like and don't be afraid to share your thoughts down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this in the future. Until next time, this has been LovelyMuze.